Next is a session by one of the nation's most erudite public speakers, one of the most sought-after public communicators, with exceptional analytical skills, primarily in the areas of education, culture, and media. He is one of India's finest, and definitely we can take just pride in saying that he is Kolkata's very own. Jawahar Sircar. Jawahar Sircar served the Indian administrative service for no less than 41 long years. After retiring from regular administrative service as the Culture Secretary to the Government of India, of course, he started here in Bengal. He's from the West Bengal cadre. He served in various important positions in the state, and he was the youngest industry secretary here as well. I can go on and on and on talking about my favorite Jawahar. I know him for many, many years. He went across to the central government. Of course, this was his second stint in the central government, where he retired as Secretary, Department, Ministry of Culture, reporting directly to the Prime Minister of India. As the Culture Secretary, he initiated a number of long-pending reforms, took up modernization projects of museums, archives, and libraries in an excellent manner, which earned him the award of the British Museum Medal. After his retirement from the Indian Administrative Service, he was selected by a very high-powered panel to head Prasar Bharati. He was the Chief Executive Officer of Prasar Bharati till recently and ran Doordarshan and the All India Radio, two of the largest media houses in the world, covering 1 billion people with more than 438 stations. He broke new grounds, developed digital technology, and of course, after his retirement from the post of CEO, and sometime much before that, he has been a much sought-after public speaker with his reservoir of knowledge, as I said, on education, culture, and media, and we are all waiting, Jawahar, to listen from you. Let us hear it loud and clear for Jawahar Sircar.
Okay. Huh? It's okay. Hello, and I don't want to keep you too much away from your lunch. But then it was fascinating to hear Vedabroto. I have always figured, I've never been able to figure out where he packs up so much energy from. And his views are rather clear. My job is a little different. I wish he had spoken on technology and I had spoken about social issues. Just the other way around, because I come from anthropology and history and all that, those soft subjects, and he comes from technology. He should either be doing more films, or he could take one of the NASA trips and stay back in the moon. Something like that. Okay, we start this. This one is only, I put it a bit of, huh? Etate? No, take it. No, okay. It's easier. This is just to give you, as Dr. Pine put it before you, the media is there. The media is omnipotent, omnipresent. It's watching all the time. And it's going to matter the most in your life, whether you like it or not. Whatever you see, whatever you think, will be in some way or the other influenced by media, even if you think you're not. So let's go on the figures. where I'll stick to India, which I know better. Our size is around 20 billion. That's about 135,000 crores. That's the size. And when you think in terms of demonetization of 100,000 crores, so you know what 135,000 crores means. It's quite a big amount. TV households are stuck at 170 million. I don't think this figure is correct, but we stick by it because this is the KPMG figure. Viewers around 600 million. My personal guess is that it's about 650 million. So more than half the Indians watch television at some point of time and narrate their views to the small percentage of kids, babies, and old men who don't. Internet users are more than TV viewers. Now that's very interesting. Assuming that all internet viewers watched content, there'd be more. But no, hang on. TV is watched by 1 into 4, 1 into 5. Though in the urban areas it's 1 into 1, 1 to 1. Internet has not yet caught up in terms of users, ipso facto users. Cellular phones, as you know, has crossed 1 billion and registered users. I'm talking of not only number in operation, but those who are active paid users is around 1 billion, which is not too much. Malaysia has a population of has a ratio of 1.7 to the population, and we are doing 0.8 or 0.78. So we have scope to double up. Smartphones, this is my fascination because this is where the digital world enters in real esteem, is 260 million, that's the KPMG figures. The grey market says it's somewhere near 300 million. The British industry puts it around 280 million. So keep a figure around 300 million in your mind and we'll talk about this. 300 million smartphone users is more than the US. Almost more than all the EU put together, and just a little less than China. That's all. So it's the largest single chunk of viewers, listeners who are available to you. Now, we'll just quickly compare the industry size where the entire media with the entire world. It's just a matrix very fast. India has, as I said, 54, that's almost 500,000 crores where TV is concerned, and then we go down the list. I'm ignoring print for the moment because of certain factors, but we need to put TV and films together. Films have a much more dangerous, much more relevant impact on us, but in terms of industry, they are less than TV, if you notice. Almost 1/5. The rate of growth of TV is, the annual rate is around 14%. The compounded rate for a period of 4 years to 5 years will be around 16%. That's a pretty high rate of growth. Radio has its thing and digital advertisement comes in there. But let's stick to TV. Let's take a look at the world. The world TV's growth size is around 70 times ours. We are 17% of the world, and we are doing mighty little, 1 by 70. So we are there, we are very small where TV's growth pattern is concerned. And let's shift on. I'll leave these figures behind for anyone who's interested. These are the growth figures. So as you see, we are growing faster than the world TV growth rate, but we need to go up to something like 30% every year to catch up to real numbers. India is just 1.5% of the world's TV market. Now, hang on, this is in dollar terms. If you put in purchasing power parity and others, this will come up to something more respectable, say 6% or something, 7%. But then still, when you have 17%, 7% is mighty small. And let's look at the rate of growth of TV and where we are sort of plateauing out now. Brazil has a rate of growth of 22.5 among the BRIC countries. India, as I said, 16%. 14 on an annual basis, a bad year basis, and 16 is what we normally get. The UK has almost saturated itself, so it's 3.6% growth. US is 2% growth. I am talking in terms of TV content and viewership. I'm not talking in terms of how you watch that TV. That comes later. TV and film on this screen, at home, fixed screen, and I'm not coming to how you choose to watch it. This is the feedstock. Now, this is interesting. How, you see, I ended up with culture and all that, and culture education, and that's where people sort of think I know a bit. But I spent 18 years in industry, finance and industry, 18 years, and 15 years in this. So if you ask me anything of urban development or health, I know nothing. I know only 2 subjects, that's all. So that's very, now here, let's take a look at the who pays, because at the end of it, you may have the brightest idea, as Vidobrata put it, he called me to his premiere of his movie. Who pays? Who pays to give you the chance, and do you have a rate of return back? That's all. You might have the most brilliant idea. Now here, let's take a look at these figures. Analog cable, when I joined, the largest and the most problematic public broadcast in the world, and my only credit is I have left it alive before it would have gone to the ICU. Okay, 2011, it was 74%. Now it's 62% when I was leaving, 62%. Can you see the slash down on analog TV? That was the most popular, the cable guy. And on the other hand, the green and the purple are paid TV, paid dish and free dish. Sorry, paid dish and free dish. Paid dish is Tata Sky, Videocon, the whole lot. Together they are 60%. So 60% of dish TV is catching up with 62%, 63% of cable TV right now. That's interesting because 60% is digital. Okay, dish TV has to be digital. And 37% of digital cable is digital. Okay, so you have this sort of, not percent, million, is digital. So you have almost 60 million and say 30, 40 million. That's almost 100 million, 96 million people who are under digital operations. The rest are still analog. They'll be wiped out. Government will ensure that they're wiped out. But then, like India, everything goes. You have a Second World War truck running even now, ambassadors still running on. So there'll be some amount of survivals, but that's not consequential. Okay, now we've been watching, talking of content. Now let's take a look at internet versus TV. This is the point I'm getting to now. Internet users we have 332 million. And TV users are more. Now listen, this internet user stuff is a bit of a queasy thing. What is your cutoff? 256? How much? What's your capacity cutoff? So here we have 332 million, a little less than half of the TV users who are on internet. Now if Digital India, digital card payment systems, digital notes, digital is going to move. So we're going to go in for a complete paradigm shift where this is concerned. Complete paradigm shift. So I go and swish my card. There's no bandwidth. There's no bandwidth. It happens to all of us. So which comes first, the cart or the horse? And we'll see. Now digital penetration, another way we are using in terms of internet users. Broadband part of internet is about 12%. Narrowband users, many people don't need broadband. So why do you? It's narrowband that does. And mobile internet users. Now mobile internet users is where we are going to focus our mind. So I've given you 2 facts. At the beginning we have said 1 billion Indians have mobile sets. And I've said 260 million, that's 26% of them, have smartphones. Now 26 is more. Okay. I would round up at 30%, because by the time our argument moves, 30% of Indians have smartphones. What am I getting at? Internet connections, this is a slap on the face of the government that actually, you know, I made the mistake of leaving the private sector in 1975, one of the world's best companies, in a misplaced fit of patriotism, and I joined the government. And I keep saying I joined the Soviet Socialist Republic of India. I've seen what control is, 17 years what control is, and we were part of the team in Udyog Bhavan, Industry and Commerce, who broke down the Berlin Wall at that time to unleash a lot of energies and get a lot of galis. Okay, now here this behemoth called MTNL, BSNL, their size is 20. That's it. 20 million people giving you 20 million lines, something like that. The ones on wireless is 312. I've been trying, ever since I resigned or got kicked out from the central government or quit, it's been a month, I've been trying to install a BSNL connection in my house. It's been 1 month. No, I'm trying away. I have I've come back to Calcutta with a lot of hope. So, this is my hometown, I can't escape. Internet users, again, another figure, but let's not get stuck on these figures. What I'm trying to tell you is that the growth has been phenomenal. So let's take a look at the growth part, and then we'll come to the main point. Radio took 38 years to reach 50 million listeners. TV took 13 years to reach 50 million. Internet took 4 years to reach 50 million. Can you see? 38 years, 13 years, 4 years. iPod took 3 years to reach 50 million. Facebook, 200 million users in less than 1 year. Okay. iPhone hit 1 billion apps in 9 months. And there have been more iPhone sales than money deposited at banks. You know the story. Everybody bought an iPhone in those days, in the last month. I mean, iPhone sales have just rocketed. Now, I'm coming to the main point. So, you see, the point I'm going to make is that we started with computers. Have you ever seen Jadavpur University's first computer? That's one of the first in India. You have seen it. It's about the size of this room, half the size of this room, to produce a capacity less than my pocket mobile. And we punched in paper, and the paper came out with punch dots, and those dotted paper were sold to ticket walas, bus tickets, and they used to rip it like this, Kaligat, 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 Kaligat. So that is I've seen it. And then it came down to computers of the size of 2 Godrej Almiras. And then came the PC. And then came the PC that big. I was in the government of India at that time, so every director wanted a PC that big. And that was the most fashionable piece of furniture because none of them knew how to use it. So we used to open it, because I was relatively young, we used to open it, DOS, and we make all sorts of sounds, and we finished that day's paper while it was booting. From that stage, as an old man, I have seen it all grow. So you know what is phenomenal. One of my best friends in Calcutta lost his fortune because he decided to invest in pager. When it was pager versus mobile, saying India is a chippu country, they'll take pager. They won't use mobile. Cellular versus chippu, it happened just 20 years ago. So you know what? So what I'm trying to say is that screen, that computer became this little. Okay? Now it's a tablet size. Are people going to watch TV on that tube thing or the flat screen? Are people going to watch TV on the move? And how much is the market? That's a single point I'm getting to. That's point one. And point two is, are people going to see the entire program on the handheld device, or do they want to switch devices? Do they want to switch devices? Video on demand, now these are the OTTs. OTTs players have come into the market long ago, so all of you have been using. Generically, we call them OTT. Now, the most important OTT in the consumer market is Netflix, Video Voot, there are lots of them. What do these guys do? These VOD types. They purchase a lot of content. I'm sure they must have purchased his film also. They stack it all up, and they have this algorithm worked out. So whoever wants what at whichever time, you get it. That's all. It's a video service like that DVD cassette library we used to go and take. That's all. It has no original content. They are the biggest growers. So taking a TV program out and pushing it in is just a video on demand. Hang on, no, it's not a video on demand. It's not a video on demand. YouTube is not a video on demand. You are using cold meat. You have first stored it, arranged it, and then put a key and you access it. So, you have to store it. It's not live. In other words, if I want to see a cricket match, I can't see ball by ball. So that's where the catch lies. So you have either stored bit content or you have live content. So this is where the game is getting interesting. Live streaming, the major option in India is Reliance Jio. Reliance Jio, baki sab maro. So, abhi, Ditto TV has 100 channels at ₹20. Now, what's the difference between Jio's service and the OTT players? Listen, Jio is giving you a highway. A 3G highway is 4x4 road, 8 lane, 2x2, and a 4G is 16x16. So it offers you a lot of traffic space. Now, question is there a traffic to take it on? Or Indian classical style, will we have some Bail Garis and some old Marutis going? So we need traffic also. Now, all studies tell us that we have traffic. We have traffic, we need the spectrum, we need the bandwidth. That's all. Traffic ke baare fikr mat karo. That's all. So, OTT can only operate if you have the spectrum available. And these are the basic producers. So, this guy makes his money, basic money, by charging you highway tax, toll tax. The other guy makes his money by carrying your truck. That's the difference. Ditto TV is now carrying one of those offers. Star, Hotstar, free, 5 minutes, deferred broadcast, all sorts of things. I don't know whether you guys watch it. Ask your kids if they talk to you. Hotstar, talk to you on these subjects. Talk to you. You see, our generation is the one where we were terrified of our parents and we are terrified of our youngsters. We are terrified on both sides. So, other challenges already available. Now, this is what has come to 20 rupees, 40 rupees. I have this Dhobi's son who has this thing. He watches a movie every day, invariably, on his little thing. Bhojpuri movie, Na Jawo Saiya and all that. So it's there. You don't ignore it. You may not watch it. Uday Reddy's Yup TV. You'll be hearing these names more and more. Tata Sky with 80 channels. So what's coming up is the 260 million mobiles, or the 300 million mobiles are getting content. Again, live streaming, not yet. The highway has been made. The highway is a little, like all highways, like all Indian highways, you have the highway made, then the bridge is a little narrow, and part of the highway, there's some problem. So, Reliance is going on, but it goes along in that very reliable Reliance manner. No opposition. I like the style, actually. Now, Kerala's Asianet. TV on mobile, there's another option other than 4G. You don't need 4G for this. India has 1,400 TV towers made mainly during the regime of Mrs. Gandhi, who wanted projection, 1975 emergency, etc., 1 tower a day. 1,400 towers crisscross India, and they used to have these twisted antenna on top. And in Doordarshan, I never saw a twisted antenna excepting in deep Bihar and deep Jharkhand and deep other places. So what's happening? I'll tell you what's happening. Every cable operator has that twisted antenna. So he hooks in whatever comes in free. Then he puts it along with the paid stuff. Now, forget the analog TV towers with those silly antennas. Look at the potential that the world has taken. And the potential is ATT, analog terrestrial tower, has given way to DTT, digital terrestrial tower. Digital terrestrial tower simply digitizes the antenna on top. The tower remains the same. It's the same Eiffel Tower. It remains the same. You have one antenna which is replaced by 1 into 10 channels. Instead of having one channel, 10 channels. So if you have two antenna, you have 20 channels. And these 20 channels can be picked up by the mobile handsets just like that. Free. It comes in free. So just like Reliance Jio, these DD guys have the capacity to provide. Now what are they doing? If they were doing well, I would have stayed back with them. They are writing green note sheets. Youngsters, I said, I am 65, we got sick, stop writing. Now, they know what they have, but they're asking for permission. And the permission asking is going on for 4 years, so I said, Tata, goodbye. Now, what is the capability? The capability is this. 63 towers have been paid for, 23 have beaming capacities. Calcutta city or Kolkata city has this tower in Golf Green from which 20 channels are being beaming every day from that channel with no users. 20 channels are beaming every day. I can go and put a video at that other end and I can show you. Which means they are now thinking of the business model. For die-hard socialists, it's a lot of progress. They'll get their pension soon. So all I'm trying to say is here is a free-to-air service available. Here is my smartphone. I don't have any traffic. I can't see anybody on the road. That's all. Stupidity has its limits also. Sorry, I'm unparliamentary. Okay, DTT offers 10 times capacity. Live mobile spectrum, reception, no buffering. Hang on, I'll explain. There are lots of technologists here, so I'll explain why it's no buffering. Buffering is that it's no buffering because Reliance is using what is called the telecom spectrum. Okay, 1800 plus. Upper end. Upper end means higher reach. Broadcasters use the richest spectrum from 448 to 700. They use the richest spectrum, lowest power consumption, highest penetration capacity in the world, all over. It's determined by a world plan. Had it not been determined by a world plan, some big company would have all taken it off, like the coal mine licenses by now. So anyway, what I'm saying is, spectrum saving, competition, no buffering, and this is the most important thing, successfully launched all over the world. Free service, no talk time. I can now watch a TV cricket. I can go on watching in my car any live performance that I missed out. No talk time. All I need is the range and connectivity. That's all. Now, this is a silent asset on which people are sitting. I wanted to use a term close to assets. Okay. Doordarshan and ministry too slow. That's all I said. Now, let's take a look at the last stage of the battle. The battle is between content and delivery. Since DTT is not coming into the picture, I am left behind only with OTT services. OTT services, Netflix, Amazon, Google, YouTube, Tool, Slim TV. This is the world way. Content giants, he read out 6. I'm reading out 3. Okay? Sony 4, HBO, CBS, Disney. Vedabrata just read out 6. Now they are sitting on content and they are sitting on delivery. So what's going to happen? Apps-powered devices. So now come the new players. They say that we are not going to use telecom spectrum. You're talking of telecom spectrum? I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use your DTT spectrum. I'm just going to use a net. And these are the end-to-end Apple and others who have come in with apps-powered devices. The entire device as an apps-powered, so you don't need a set-top box, you don't need a converter, you don't need anything. Apple has come in, and Roku and Apple have come in such a frightening way that they've captured 1 million, and they're up there. So we have two types of competitors in the digital world. You have the traditional operators, YouTube, so even Netflix is traditional by now, Netflix, and you have Amazon, Apple, Google. They're the new boys. Money is not a question. Money is not a question. I'll tell you why money is not a question. Mega mergers on the offing, AT&T, pay TV wireless giant of the world, merging with Time Warner, $100 billion. How much is that? 7, huh? Huh? No, 7, not 7 lakhs. 7,000 lakh crores. And what are we talking about? Monetization, demonetization, 30 lakh crores. I mean, let's have a heart. 7,000 lakh crores, and our entire currency situation is running on 30 lakh crores, 40 lakh crores we are talking about. So, I mean, it's mind-boggling. They're taking over the world, and Vedabrata put that moral angle and the other angle. I'm putting on the technological angle. So, basically, they have different models. This is the Apple model, that's a Google model, that's an Amazon model. 3 are the throttling models. Basically, it comes to the same thing. Grab somebody else's content, ask the bugger to sell you low, ask him to sell you low, or wipe him off the market. Buy it low, push it into an apps-powered device. Let the apps be loaded into these hungry smartphone mobiles, and you have the world. Now, TV apps market, these are some of the statistics. 2011, we said 70% will be the content and entertainment devices. TV applications, widgets. Apple TV and connected devices, 2015 has reached 500 million. You remember the viewership of India, TV viewership? 600 million. We talked of 650 million. So, IPTV growing market. Now, what are the real viewerships? Okay, you have a demand, you have a technology, you have the throttle power. How are the viewers viewing you? The viewers are viewing you. There's a slash in the market where traditional big screen TV viewership is concerned. In other words, the way I look at it, big screen TV, big screen cinema, home screen TV, home screen cinema will not disappear. They'll be there for the luxury of a Sunday. That's all. Rest of the days, don't let the TV content timing determine when you see it. You see it, your time is prime time. That's it. So here we have found with smartphone people are using, these are some of the merit studies of use. Basically, smartphones have short sessions, but the most used onboarding experience. Now, this is a very interesting real study of the American world. The yellow and blue line is, as you can see, 40-45% dip is the age group of 12 to 24. 50% of them don't watch the screen. Don't have time. 50%. And remember, that's the generation that are going to take over from you. 66% of India is below 35, okay? they are going to take over from you. When Akashvani used to have those big ones, aerial ones, I used to say every time a person died, Ram Nam Sat Hai, Hori Bol, so say one more Akashvani viewer gone. So anyway, listener. So then you see the dip according to age. It's only people above 65, 50 to 64 who are maintaining the stability. Total US, the dip in just 4 years, 5 years has been 10% plus. But that's not alarming. All I'm trying to find is a trend at which it's going. Trend at which it's going. I'm not saying that tomorrow morning they'll take over. Let the digital throttle happen and we'll see. Now, these are, smartphones are the most common places. So the sum and substance of what I'm trying to tell you is that we started with this huge computer, became those Godrej-sized computers, then became the PC, and from the PC to the tablet, and we are now at the tablet, notebook, laptop stage. Very few people actually go over to the PC and start working, unless he's above 50. What's happening in the world is TV screens, from the cathode ray tube to the flat LED screen to the handheld device. Let's get prepared for the handheld device, because India has a market of 260 official, 300 million smartphones. 30 crore users, no live feed, only cold feed. Even if you are watching Sunny Leone, it's cold feed. Bus. So there's no live feed coming. Live feed, there's a hunger for the serials, there's a hunger for cricket, there's a hunger for everything. That live has to come in through the smartphone on a digital operation, either on OTT or through DTT or through Apple, Google's app-driven. Let's get prepared. Let's get prepared. Connected TV, these are the 10s. Merging of TV and web. Then social TV, virtual get-togethers in your living room. If you notice, after 5 minutes of talking, even if you meet a 30-year-old friend, everybody is there on his mobile. When he's talking to you and he's also talking to the rest of the world. 5 of us sit and 5 of us check the mobile every 10 minutes. We forget the existence of the actual. The hyper-reality matters more. Immersive TV, 3D and gaming, where he said, you want to see Slovenia? Come on, I'll take you to Slovenia. Mobile TV, anywhere. Service TV, managing everything with your handheld device, including switching off devices at home, putting on the AC, everything. Of them, my focus has been on the red line, mobile TV, TV anywhere. See, I am not a technical man. Whatever I've learned is to manage and head the international organizations, so we have to perforce see it. I can see the decline of the fixed TV, I can see the decline of the fixed computer, and I can see the hunger available. Now, who is going to win? The pager or the mobile? Let's see who wins. Thank you. Thank you. Lunch or questions? Or questions over lunch? Either or. Tell me.
I am Kashyap Joshipura. You have mentioned about TV and web.
TV and?
TV and web, intermingling of technology. Yeah. So you were heading Prasar Bharati earlier. And
why are you mentioning my pain? Now you'll say I was in government. Why are you mentioning my pain? Can't you forget my disqualifications? Okay.
So what is the role of intermingling of radio and TV nowadays? Because Prime Minister, when he has decided about demonetization, he has also given his speech in TV, as well as it was broadcasted in radio.
That's simulcasting.
At the same time, Man Ki Baat, we are listening it originally in radio and transmitted it in TV. At the same time, when we see DTH, all Akashvani channels can be
seen.
Yeah. in Doordarshan, in TV. So why government is not encouraging radio transmitter to enrich and it can reach to most of the people. And at the same time, from Assam, I can listen China and Bangladesh in a very, very clear condition. And I cannot listen Dibrugarh, which is 85 kilometers away from my place. But
I'll answer. I'll not stand and speak on behalf of government. I served Sircar, Bharat Sircar. I am now Jawahar Sircar. That's all. I am looking only after my... I had a very difficult time. Thank God it's all over. Okay, now, but I've seen what stupidity is. Okay, you think they are stupid, I know they are stupid. Now, your problem is a little different. Your problem is that you can't get, if you are getting China and Bangladesh, then you're hearing on medium wave. That's all. See, the only transmission that can get over 50 kilometers is medium wave. Short wave is out. So they have very powerful medium wave sets, and Dibrugarh's set thing is very low. Now the solution lies in a very simple solution, which I have been trying to tell these guys. They took 4 years to pick up, but now they are doing it. I'll tell you how to do it. Every station has an FM channel, almost. So there is a medium wave channel and there is an FM channel. All we need is an FM antenna, which is 1 crore 40 lakhs. That's all, 1.5 crores, not much. If you put it on FM and catch it on Dish TV, our dish, it can be downloaded. Analog cannot be put up so easily on the dish. We said that just put an apps. Right now what we are doing, the major services are all on apps available. Punjabi, Bengali, Hindi services are all available on apps. Just open the web and look for Akashvani apps. This app service simply means we are also copying Google and this thing, which means that when you are in Vancouver or whether you are in Vladivostok, you have the apps, you download it in an instrument, and you can hear your local service. Minor problem. The delivery is again little Sarkari, lowest tender delivery. You know, they do everything on the lowest tender, marry on the highest tender. So usme we have now broken that and gone in for a CDN, content delivery network, which will make it smoother. So short point is that download that All India Radio apps. Right now, apps are available for 12 services. Apps should be made available by this year. Now they have understood what we are talking about. So with Mr. Modi's pressure, we should get about 30, 40 services. All the services, Akhomia service, every service will be available. That's all. Anything else? Tell me. Shout. Nobody's feeling hungry.
Don? Yeah. Greetings and good afternoon, sir. You just, with the presentation we saw right now, we saw this part where there was geo live streaming news. So does that mean the channels who will not live stream news in the future will die a natural death? Or is it an autonomy, or what where do you think the news is going? The news market is going forward in terms of other channels who will not live stream news?
See, technology is a funny game. Henry Ford brought out the first mass-produced cars, and he said, you have many options. You can do everything. You have all choices. But whatever they are, you have to buy the Ford black Ford T. So he gave only one choice. The British came here and said, you buy our Lancashire cloth, buy our Manchester cloth. You don't buy, we break your looms. Technology is the biggest bully. It survives anyway on its own, but it's the biggest bully if it's combined with state power or some other corporate power. Now, technology, what is NDTV doing? Okay, let's look at it. NDTV has an apps-based thing, and it's using the spectrum of 3G based. If NDTV wants to upgrade itself to 4G and make it more reliable, it has to pay Reliance. That's it. That's it. In other words, the cost, the barrier becomes higher. Barrier becomes higher. Ultimately, you have CNN and Fox and others who are directly or indirectly influenced by the American state policy, and tomorrow the Chinese state policy will be doing it. That's all. The merger of big capital with big politics in big countries is the most frightening thing that's happening. Most frightening thing that's happening. Okay? Lunch. Sapadam.
Yeah, we are definitely ready for lunch, but Jawahar has given us so much food for thought before lunch. Jawahar, we still need you up here. May I request Angshuman Bandyopadhyay, who is a National Council member, to kindly come up and greet Jawahar Sircar for being with us here and sharing his brilliance. Jawahar, কি দারুণ ছবি দেখো তোমার। এখনো তো তাই। A big round of applause for Jawahar Sircar. Friends, we break for lunch. A couple of announcements here. Those of you who would want to visit the Mother Wax Museum at 3 o'clock, the organizers have made arrangements. There's a travel desk just outside this room. You need to register yourselves right now before you go and eat lunch. 3 o'clock, there are arrangements for you to visit the beautiful Mother Wax